Magic Makers. I'm Monvirella.
I'm Yuki to cosplay.
I'm CJ Peterson. Welcome to Magic Making Mischief. It's my birthday celebration month, and we keep it going. Like I said, we have a double header this week, and we have with us Ms. Tami Erin, aka Pippi Longstocking. Before we get to her, though, we have to get your wands to the ready because we solemnly swear we're up to no good. And speaking of up to no good, like I said, today we have Miss Pippi Longstocking, who has her little Longstocking with her. We just saw, and she was up for a lot of no good in her movie.
Oh my goodness.
Always. Pippi's very mischievous.
Miss Tami. She was very mischievous. Loved her though growing up.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome. Before we get
Yeah.
to you though, we have people already ready to say hi. Worked hard, was here actually early. Jeremy, who makes our wands.
Jeremy Vanders, maker of fabulous wands since last year.
Definitely. And Geek Cred is here. So welcome, Ms. Tami Erin.
Hi, guys. Thanks so much for having me. Happy to be here.
Don't hate me. I have to sing Pippi Longstockings is coming to our podcast.
And all sorts of love your way.
That was really good. Yeah, that was really good. Thank you.
Lots of love. We're super excited. Really found out you were coming. We're so excited. Mom had a chance to meet you at NerdCon. Yukita was there, but didn't quite have the chance to meet you. And
I was busy cosplaying around.
She was guesting, so she had her hands full.
Yeah.
But it would have been great. Hello.
No, it was so cool. I have not had a chance to share that interview yet. I had a lot of stuff happening right around that time. And so y'all keep an eye out. I have one with us in pirate hats for that. So that was fun. Thank you for that. And then I actually, like CJ was saying, I got a chance to grow up watching you do the character of Pippi. And then also when my daughter was younger, I raised her loving it as well. And she actually had freckles, which I was jealous of. And so she loved her freckles and was a very adventurous kid and everything, just because, you know, she took that inspiration to heart. And I love that was how that worked for both of us, you know, and it was awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah.
Jeremy
That's really cool. NerdCon was awesome. NerdCon was such a fun show.
Awesome.
Yeah, we had a great time. The panel was amazing.
Yeah, I learned quite a lot. Your linked tree is actually scrolling down below. It's linktree.com/Tami Erin. I learned quite a lot. I learned a little bit about you that I didn't know. You were a UN ambassador.
I was. So when I was, let's see, it was when the movie was being released. So I was 13 years old during the world tour. It was announced to me that I was going to be a United Nations ambassador, and I knew what that was, but I was also so honored and amazed. And so the very first thing that I did was they invited me to the United Nations in New York City for a tour. And they educated me about the hunger, education, and wartime issues that children face globally, which I really did not know a lot about. And so that was really important because I had a speech to give in front of the delegates of over 100 countries in the General Assembly Hall at World Children's Day. And so my speech was called Have a Good Day. And it was really valuable. We let out all these balloons in front, and I was just so honored and so amazed. And I also spoke in a couple other countries for the United Nations, and it led to a lifetime of charity.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
That's amazing.
Hey, you did such a good job.
Thank you. I was the youngest United Nations ambassador for UNICEF in history until for World Children's Day. And I still am the youngest for World Children's Day, but I was the youngest in history for UNICEF until Selena Gomez beat me out a few years ago. I don't know how long, 5 years ago, I was bumped into second place in the category of the youngest for UNICEF. So anyway. But I mean, Selena Gomez.
You were the first, though, and that's what matters.
I was the first, and not only that, to get bumped into second place by Selena Gomez. I'll take it. Thank you.
Little Sally, we love her.
Marissa says hi. Art of the Ride says, wow, Pippi, we love you, Pippi. And
thank you. Thank you so much.
So we've, like I said, I learned a lot. But when you first came on here, you mentioned something regarding Disney. Ooh, Disney?
Yes.
Yes.
So I noticed that you guys really love Disney. So do I. The
Love it.
director of The New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking, Ken Anakin, he directed over 50 movies. One of them was Swiss Family Robinson. He also became a Disney legend. Oh, in 2002. At the time when he became a Disney legend, I believe there were less than 25 Disney legend directors. So it was really, really special. And then later he was chosen as a Disney Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. And he chose me to give him his award on the Disney Channel, which was really special. Ken became like my second dad, and his wife, Pauline, a movie producer, became like my second mom. And then, of course, he directed Swiss Family Robinson, which was one of my favorite adventure movies growing up. So being able to work with him was, I mean, such a dream come true. And he was such a magical person. Very
That's awesome.
special to me. Very special person to me.
I'm curious, did you ever get a chance to go through the Swiss Family Robinson recreation at Disney parks that they had, where you could kind of walk
Yeah,
through the story?
I have. And I have on my list, I really want to go to Trinidad and Tobago because that's where they filmed it. So Pauline and Ken, they would go back every year in January and they would spend the month of January in Trinidad and Tobago,
Wow.
around all of that, around the islands where they filmed Swiss Family Robinson. That's how beautiful it is. And also a fun fact is they left the monkeys there. So some of the monkeys that are there on the islands in the Caribbean are from the movie.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
We have a few comments to add in here. Pippi Longstocking was a classic. I read the book in 3rd grade. I read a lot of the books. And Work Hard said that was very cool about you presenting.
Yeah, I was so honored because with all the actors that he could have chosen, he chose me. But that's because it's like family, you know. It
I love
really
that
was
for
like he was my second dad. It was amazing. I really did win as far as parents go.
Aw.
That's very cool.
So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
curious, do you have any connection still with any of the other actors and actresses from the movie when you were younger?
I do. So Branscombe Richmond is doing a show with me. My fiance, Tommy Parker, owns a company called Celebrity Sports, and they do celebrity sporting events like flag football, pickleball, and it's on Triller TV. And so Branscombe is going to be co-hosting with me on July 20th, the flag football event. So you guys know him from, he's done something like 300 movies, or what is it, 180 movies? Is that what it is? And he's done 300, so 180 movies. But you guys will probably know him from Renegade, the TV show with Lorenzo Lamas. So Branscombe is the Hawaiian dude
Oh,
who you
wow.
guys have seen in so many things. He's one of the main pirates in the movie, in Pippi.
Okay.
And he's done a ton of stuff. If you saw his face, you go, oh my God, I've seen him so many different movies and TV shows. So I'm working with him, and also David Seaman, who played Tommy, I'm in touch with. And then Branscombe is also in touch with John Shuck, who played Pippi's father, Captain Ephraim, in the movie. So we're trying to work on getting a reunion together. And I do also, I have found Corey Crow. She's in marketing. So she's in marketing, but I would really like to get her to, to want to do something like that, to want to do a reunion Comic-Con with us, because I think it would be really fun.
That
And
would be
people would
so
want to
awesome.
see her.
For sure.
And also Faye Masterson, of course. Faye and I have been friends since the movie, and we've continued to stay friends. And she played the head girl in the orphanage, the mean
Gotcha.
girl, this tall,
Mhm.
skinny, redheaded mean girl. That's Faye, excuse me.
You know what would be perfect for a Pippi reunion? What convention would be perfect for it? You're thinking it. I know you already are. NostalgiaCon.
Oh, definitely. Well, there's so many of them. Which location?
I personally want the one that's closest to us because then we can all go see you, but that's just me.
Okay, where's that?
I think that's a Houston location. It's going to be
Okay.
at the GRB. So,
Okay.
you know,
I will
I thought
make
you were
sure
gonna
that
say
I
pop
whisper that
culture,
to
but
my
okay.
manager and make sure that he knows about that.
because that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be very cool. I love that.
Just, you know,
I'm gonna be
get that
back in
idea to
Texas
you.
in Bell County in August. So yeah, I'm going to Bell County. Do you guys know about that?
Yes, I
Oh,
know
yeah, we
about Bell
do.
County.
Yeah.
I love it. Sorry, that was
Yeah.
very aggressive, but I'm excited.
So
August 2nd and 3rd, I will be there, Bell County Comic Con in
Oh,
Belton,
that's so
Texas.
neat.
So
Yeah, Belton, yeah.
my husband is super heavy, and of course he's a little bit sarcastic, and so he says, "Redheaded, feisty? What?
Redheaded feisty?
Feisty,
What?
that's true.
Redheaded,
Redheads, they
Stop.
can be.
Nah.
What about the bottle redheads? Are they feisty?
I'm sure they are.
I think I can only speak for myself. No, I mean, I like to have fun, but I'm a Cancer, so I'm very sweet. But redheads can be feisty. They can.
Yeah,
I know.
So my theory is it depends on who you are. It's depending upon which part of me you get.
We like to stay on her good side because we family, so we ain't gonna worry about that.
My sisters don't need to worry. It's the ones that yeah. It's just
The ones that mess with us,
yeah.
they have
You
to
don't
worry.
mess with family. So
Yeah.
you're good as long as you don't mess with my family. You're good.
So we were talking a
Yes.
little bit before the podcast, and you mentioned that you did all your own stunts for the movie.
I didn't do all my own stunts, but I did a solid 80% of them.
That's
So,
awesome.
what I did not do is easier to tell you. I did not do the backflips. And I didn't
Okay.
jump off the roof. I ran all over the roof, no harness. I walked down the wall. I did upside down with the glue man. I did the horseback riding stunts of rearing Alfonso. So I grew up as an advanced gymnast and doing horseback riding because I had equestrians on both sides of my family.
She's a horse
So
girl, y'all.
yeah, so I came into the movie already not only able to do my stunts, but really excited to do most of my own stunts.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
Ooh, quick
I
question while I got you on
love it.
horse girl stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ever a trick rider?
I don't know what you mean doing other stunts since then.
Yeah, have you ever done like trick riding on horses where like you go upside down and everything while the horse is actually going around?
No. The most advanced thing I did was rearing Alfonso, and I've gotten into jumping, but that's about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's so cool.
But yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and that is really cool. Yeah, trick
Yes.
riding is very cool.
It's cool and scary looking all at once.
Right.
I think when they're really young, I think the ones that start when they're really young, they turn out to be the best at it because they don't have the fear when they're young.
Right, and then they end up
Yeah.
going to the rodeo and doing all that fun stuff. I love
Yeah.
it. Anyway, continue.
Or the circus. You never know.
Yeah.
Now there is something coming out. It was supposed to come out later this year, but it might not come out till next year that we were talking about as well.
Yes, I have a new movie called I Am Pippi.
Fun.
And I have filmed it already. It is with a Swedish film company called Pink Dolphin, Maria and Luve. They did a great documentary called Calendar Girls that did really, really well. So they came and they filmed me. And so they chronicle the women all over the world who have played Pippi Longstocking in movies, TV, opera, Broadway, and the ABBA production, Pippi and the Circus, for the 80th anniversary of the creation of Pippi Longstocking, the first book.
Wow.
That's awesome.
So for me, I had a great time because they came out to Grand Lake, Oklahoma, Tulsa, and I was doing a movie screening of The New Adventures of Pippi Longstocking at the Outsiders House Museum, which is the actual house turned into a museum where they filmed the movie The Outsiders, Francis
Oh,
Ford
wow.
Coppola.
Wow.
And so I had a big movie on the lawn there, and I had a spider monkey named Lola to sit with me and sit on my shoulder while I was signing my autographs and watch the movie with everybody and did a big Q&A, and it was a really fun event. And then they followed me around Tulsa. They came with me to my Airbnb, Pippi's Hop Toad, which I had at the time. I had a houseboat Airbnb. And
Nice.
so they filmed that. They filmed my house, my animals, and my life, and also what it meant to me to win the role out of over 8,000 girls worldwide, which is a world record.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Very
I'm in the
nice.
Trivial Pursuit Millennium Edition for that.
Bruh,
Oh
that's
my gosh.
neat.
Actually, speaking of world records, you actually have 2 world records.
I
Correct?
do. The second one is being the youngest UN ambassador for UNICEF. That's the second one. And then in addition, as part of the world tour, which it's really special because really only the big franchise films do you get to do a world tour. and travel and all of that. I was the guest of the Princess of Japan, Princess Nori in Tokyo. And I was there for 2 weeks doing interviews and all kinds of stuff and seeing it with her. And I gave her one of my dolls. This is the Tami, Erin, Pippi Longstocking doll. So this doll came in 5 sizes. So not only, did I get the movie, but my own doll. So then I was also, after that part of the tour, I went to Sweden and I was the guest of King Carl and Queen Sylvia in Sweden for the Swedish royal world premiere of the movie there. And then there was 4 cities in Germany, 14 cities in the US, and all that great stuff. That
That's
movie
amazing.
came with so many things. I wanted to be a
Right?
movie star when I was like 6. So I had this dream of that, but it came with so much more than just getting to do that.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
So how did you do the scene where you lifted the horse?
Okay, so the horse, when I did that one was styrofoam and covered over with fur. So it was being held up on both sides so you can see me underneath it, or it had a crane, but that one was made of styrofoam, so it was relatively light.
Okay.
And then they would do close-ups of me actually underneath Alfonso. And that horse, by the way, was a gentle giant. He was a real movie horse, so he could walk up and down stairs. And when I
Wow.
reared him bareback, it was just the easiest thing in the world. I bonded with him really easily.
Aw.
So
That's
it was
awesome.
very easy working with him. With the monkeys, I loved working with them. And there were 2 of them to make sure that there was always one who was like happy to work, and they're grinder monkeys. So they like tip their hat and they'll take money from you. And yeah, and they call them grinder monkeys because they play musical instruments.
Right.
Yeah. So
Yes.
they were fun, but one of them did get fussy one day when I had to tie when the orphanage was on fire, and I'm standing at the top of the telephone pole, and I'm trying to tie this giant rope around his little tiny waist. He kept biting right in here.
Oh no.
And we did so many takes, and eventually is like the 12th take, and I looked straight into the camera with tears, and I'm like, Ken, he's biting me.
Oh no.
No, so we gave it a break, but he was really, and like, he didn't have teeth. He had these like strong gums. So he was like gumming through the center of my hand. But they were really sweet, and we would play with them all the time when we weren't filming.
When they weren't
Aw.
biting. Good.
They were so
They were
sweet and they
biting.
were so cute. Yeah, it was really great.
He just didn't want that rope around his middle.
No, he didn't want, because also he's really tiny. And the rope is like this big, and I'm trying to pretend to tie it around him, but he just was not, he's not having it. No.
So my daughter always wondered about the scene with the barrels in the water.
Yes.
Did y'all actually get to float down the water with the barrels?
Yeah, and there were crew members. It was so on Amelia Island, there is that stream, that creek, and it was that full. We were really in the barrels, and we were tied together and being pulled forward. But they had crew members on the side with these big things that would make the water rush up. They were like a triangle on this thing, so they're like pushing the rapids. And Corey was really crying.
Oh no.
She was getting some water in the bottom of her barrel, and she really was crying because it really was unnerving to her. Me, I grew up climbing trees, riding horses, came home dirtier than most of the boys. So like I was a real tomboy, and Corey was not. So when you see her crying and all of that, some of that was real.
So y'all were casted perfectly for y'all's roles in that.
She was so sweet.
Aw.
She was so sweet and so talented.
Aw.
Maybe. So before we start losing too much time,
Yeah.
generally toward the end, I ask a question regarding, how do you have any advice for somebody who wants to get into being in acting? However, there's a slight twist to that question regarding you specifically. So I am going to ask that question, but I know that there's kind of a double answer to it regarding you. So I want to make sure that you have plenty of time to answer that question.
Okay.
So how would you do that? Because I know that you actually do teach as well.
So I've actually recently been invited to get back into it. For 11 years, I owned a company called On Camera Acting. It was based in San Francisco, and I had an academy where I taught acting, but I also had coaches, TV commercial directors, award-winning journalists, directors, producers that worked with the kids. So I owned a school, and for 11 years I did that. recently I was invited by Turning the Tide Tutoring to teach a 6-week course that covers TV commercial acting, improvisation, scene study, public speaking, audition technique. So, those things to get kids prepared if they would like to get into acting, but also for some kids, they get into it because they want to come out of their shell, or maybe they just like acting for fun. So, I'm excited to start doing that online now. So you'll get all the details at TamiErin.com, but it's with the Turning the Tide Tutoring. And yeah, so I'm excited to be working with the kids again because I really love it. They're so sweet and so fun.
Now, when does that start?
I don't know. I've just sent her my curriculum so that they can finish the actingwithpippi.com website. So they're finishing that. So the website for that will be Acting with Pippi. You can go to the Facebook page. We've got like 500 followers already, and I haven't even taught one class. But you can watch our commercial
Wow.
and you can see, what we're doing. And you can see some of our students. I have a beautiful, I was given an award in San Francisco from Crave San Francisco, being one of the top 100 women in San Francisco you need to know. So I talked all about my school, and I did a photo shoot at a movie soundstage with some of my real students with the movie lights and all of the stuff. So you can go to the Facebook Acting with Pippi and see my students with me and read the article and see my commercial, and so see what we're doing.
Okay, very cool. Congratulations.
Neat.
Yeah, it's going to be so fun. Now, did you want me to say what I would suggest for kids who really want to get into acting?
Yes.
You guys are really fortunate now in that you can start, obviously with the guidance of your parent, you can start yourself a little TikTok channel and do little dances, or maybe you like to sing songs. Maybe you like to tell jokes. You can find plenty of free jokes online, little TV commercial scripts, age appropriate, that you can practice with your child. And I would suggest just starting to film them and having them do little jokes, little TV commercial scripts, and obviously getting some training if they want to get an agent. If they want to get an agent, they're going to need some type of acting training from a good coach, maybe an actor, maybe a casting director, a director or producer on their resume. Have them do school plays or things that are local. Any local work that you can find for them, or modeling jobs for like your friend's fashion company or whatever it happens to be. There's many ways for them to get going, but once they want an agent, find someone that can help them, and you can always come ask me.
How did you get started?
I got started because I was discovered for a modeling job when I was 5 at the Brookfield Zoo in the suburbs of Chicago, which
Oh
is
my
where I grew up. I grew up in Wheaton, Illinois, which is the suburbs of Chicago. So we were there. I was 5, and they were doing a soda campaign, and the photographer saw me, spoke to my mom. 5 minutes later, 10 minutes later, I'm holding their Jolly Good Soda can and wearing their
Wow.
little t-shirt, Jolly Good Soda. And when my ad came out in the newspaper, or the ad came out, I had the biggest picture in the whole page. So I
Oh.
knew this was important. And I'm like, I want to be a model. And my dad was in the beauty industry, a vice president in the beauty industry. It took 3 years until finally the president of Victory Beauty Supply said to him, there's an open call at Elite in downtown Chicago. You've got to have Gail take Tami. And then my dad hesitated a little bit, and he said, if you don't bet the farm on this girl, you're making a mistake. So my mom brought me the following day, realized it was an adult open call. So it was all these adults lined up for 2 blocks. So she walks me up the stairs and goes to the receptionist. She takes out a little, those little school pictures that you have. And she brings it. She goes, we've come so far. Is there somebody who can see her? So she takes a little picture and she brings it to Eileen, who's the owner of that office of Elite Model Management. She brings me into her office, and a few minutes after talking with her, I want to give you a contract. And so within a week, though, I was in People magazine, just me, for Texas Instruments computers. And I was the little schoolgirl doing my computer on a Texas Instruments giant MS-DOS computer. So it happened like right away.
Oh man.
Works hard, says that was fate.
It really was. And also, I really wanted it. My parents made me get straight A's, and like, it wasn't very, like, they took my career seriously, but I was the one pulling them, going, I really want this. Just let me do this.
So let me ask you this. Do you feel like that attitude for the kids themselves is important for them to be successful in acting?
I know that I wanted to do it. I know it wasn't a situation of one of my parents trying to tell me to do it. If you have a beautiful baby and you want to get them into it, go ahead. It's a beautiful, contented little baby. If that's their nature and you have the opportunity, go for it. It should be something your child wants to do, and your child should usually tell you that they want to do it, or maybe they're just a ham. And so you need a creative outlet for them and you get the opportunity. But the child, you really want them to want to do it. You don't want to be pushing them.
Yeah, that would
Yeah.
almost. Yeah, that would kind of
Be
stink.
supportive and
Like,
help them to grow and nurture that.
As I said, it's almost like forcing somebody to like play the piano or do a sport they don't want
Well,
to do.
and
I think it's much more though, because playing the piano is not a public thing. When you're thrusting a child into the spotlight, that's a very public thing, and it's not for every child.
yeah. So I guess
I was a
being
very
sensitive
outgoing
to
kid, so
Piano is slightly more public than it seems.
Yes.
As someone who grew up doing piano
the
recitals.
recitals.
Yeah.
Dancing or stuff like that. Anything like on a stage or any of that stuff.
Dance.
Yeah, like dancing and piano, you do have to do recitals.
Yeah.
It's still forcing them to do something that they don't want to do that they hate.
I think there has to be some kind of a sensitivity to your kids there. Like you can encourage, I'd see encouraging them to try it and give it a chance.
Yeah.
But then once they hit that point where they literally are like, I'm miserable, I don't want to do this, continuing to push them seems like it would make it something that they no longer enjoyed at all.
Yeah, and it's a
basically
whole
watching-
nother level when it's a job. That's a
Mm.
whole different level when it's your actual work and your actual job. And I'm the one who's like showing up with my briefcase. I was a little girl who literally carried a briefcase because my portfolio was a briefcase that you unzip and and it's like, here's my People magazine and here's my Kmart and here's my Sears and so like I was a very serious. I loved it. Loved it.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate
That accordion folder. Here's my thing.
Really
Yeah,
appreciate it.
kind of.
Where are you going to be next?
So my next Comic-Con is this weekend. I will be at Saline County Comic Expo in Benton, Arkansas.
Okay.
After that, I will be in Augusta. I will be at AugustaCon in Augusta, Georgia, July 26th. After that, I am then at Bell County, August 2nd and 3rd in Belton, Texas. And you can go to TamiErin.com, TamiErin.com, and it gives you all of my links, all of my social media and Cameo. And I'm an expert on OWL. So you can talk one-on-one with me for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, what have you, as one of their mentors, one of their experts. But you can find all my stuff there. In fact, after I get off with you guys, I have a Cameo to do.
Oh, well.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you coming. Appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule.
Thank you.
You were a true treat to talk to. We really appreciate it.
You're super
Thank
cool.
you.
Thanks for being on.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Oh,
Your show is like super fun.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, keep up the good work. It's awesome. It's good vibes.
Thanks. We appreciate it.
Next week for the Blitz team. In the meantime, Mombi, ready to take us out? So everybody, wands to the ready, Pippi to the ready.
All right, so make sure that you smash that thumbs up real quick, guys, before you go. Share this out because everybody needs a chance to get to know Pippi a little better too. So
Definitely.
And
Yes,
also
and-
shoppippi.com is my store. But go on.
Can they get their own Pippi?
Yeah, you can get everything. T-shirts, hoodies, autograph merch, posters, DVDs, the whole thing. Yeah. Shoppippi.com.
ShopPippi.com, y'all.
ShopPippi.com. And make sure you're following CJ Peterson on Mombi Rella on YouTube and TikTok, and on YouTube for Follow Them Geeks for Yukita, as well as her Instagram, Yukita Cosplay. Till next time, guys. Mischief managed. Bye.